Howdy there, reloading freaks. Welcome back. Today, we start a hunting load workup for 300 Blackout for my 16-inch gun. And this is going to be a supersonic load, and we are going to use the 110 grain Barnes TAC-TX. Often called the black tips. This is, of everything I've ever read about 300 Blackout hunting loads, this is absolutely the most celebrated bullet out there. This guy seriously kicks some butt. Lots of people have had success with it. They are a bit expensive, but they're supposed to get the job done. I am after a big buck. A really big buck. I'll show you a really quick video of this dude. This is a giant. This would be by far the biggest buck I've ever shot. So, pretty serious business here. I'm working up a subsonic hunting load with the 200 grain Maker Rex, and I'm loading up this supersonic hunting load with the 110 grain Barnes TAC-TX. I'm still trying to decide which one to use for hunting. So I'm going to run a poll on this video and also the other video that's going up right about the same time for the Maker Rex to see what you guys think I should do. I am basically, the two options I'm pondering are just using the subsonics or alternating back and forth between the subsonic and the supersonic here. Like, you know, every other trip to the woods. Yeah, so basically just switching back and forth. One day with supers, one day with subs, one day with supers, one day with subs, and it'll just be the luck of the draw. I'm hoping to kill deer with both loads. Here in Kentucky, we get one buck, so there's only going to be one buck, but I can shoot up to 3 does. So the one that doesn't get the big boy, hopefully we can get a doe with it, so we can see, you know, the ballistic performance of both of these guys and see if they're able to get the job done. I'll tell you what, over on the second channel, JRB Outdoors, we're posting videos every single day. A lot of hunting content, some fishing content as well, but a lot of hunting content, and I'm hoping to get these deer kills on camera so that we can enjoy them together. So come on over, check out the new channel, see what you think. I'll have a link at the end of this video where you can subscribe to that channel or go check out a video over there. So check it out. Now, the good thing about these 110 grain Barnes TAC-TXs is that at least right now, Barnes has got load data on their website. I know Barnes has a manual. I'm not sure whether all of their stuff is on the website or only the stuff that's, you know, new since the last manual was published. But whatever, at least for the time being, the 300 Blackout load data is on the website, and we are going to follow their stuff precisely. Their test data is from a 16-inch gun, so we're shooting a 16-inch gun. Hopefully we'll see similar velocity numbers to what they got. Their recommended powder is low gun. So we are going to shoot low gun. They go 17.5 grains up to 19.4 grains, and they got about 2,350 feet per second out of low gun. They also have H110, which is the same powder as Winchester 296. They go from 18.2 up to 20.2 and get a little over 2,400 feet per second, 2,415 feet per second. So those are the two powders we're going to shoot with our Barnes TAC-TXs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, I'm going to go up to their max charge with both of them. So with low gun, 19.4 is going to be our max charge, and we're going to go down in 0.3 of a grain increments, and we're going to shoot 5 loads. So I'll throw it up on the screen here. That is going to be our low gun data. They, as far as an overall length, they shoot 2.250, so by God, that's what we're going to shoot. So we're just going to follow their data exactly, same overall length, work up to their max, and start low, starting at 18.2. That's a little bit above their minimum charge, but should be a good starting point. And Winchester 296, same deal, we're going up to 20.2 grains and down to 19 grains. So that's our load data. we are using, we're working out of the same bucket of brass we've been working out of. This is Lake City 556 that we formed to 300 Blackout. We are using CCI number 41 primers. So I'm going to load up 50 rounds, 25 of each. So I need to get started. And we'll be on the range here shortly. So we did shoot a handful of these guys on the channel in my 8.5 inch gun early on. But not a whole lot. But this will be the first, my first experience with these guys out of the 16 inch gun. I expect them to shoot very well. I'm only expecting to need to make a 40-yard shot though. So I don't really need to go overboard. Worrying about accuracy all that much. All right, let's get the bullet seating die set. 2.250. This should be about 1.5 miles long. Yep, it's not even touching. Seating those big subsonic bullets. See where we're at. $142 thousandths long. All right, there's 125 thousandths. Okay, 18 thousandths long, 10, 15, we'll just go straight to 18. .2495, I'm good with that. Now, these do have pretty distinct, like crimping groove on them. And our seated bullet, you know, the case mouth is hanging right over top of that crimping groove. So I'm thinking a halfway decent little crimp might not be a bad idea. See where that guy's set right now. Yeah, there we go. So that folded in to that groove there just a little bit. So let's just go with that. A bit heavy maybe, but I'm cool with that. If our accuracy is garbage, we can play around with that. A little bit short, 2.246, but that's totally good. There we go. All right, so I just need to do that 45 more times, and we'll be ready to go to the range. So I'm right down here to the last 5, getting those guys seated, and then we will be ready for the range. Hoping these guys shoot well. That 16-inch gun with that that cheap AR Stoner barrel, has been a really good shooter. So I expect some excellent accuracy out of these guys. I'm probably just going to shoot at 50 yards though. It's a bit of a waste of bullets. You know, it'd be nice to get 100-yard groups for these guys, but I'm afraid the range is going to be packed because we're so close to hunting season. And, you know, I'm going to be hunting at 50 yards anyway, so we can do more tests later. I've got plenty of these bullets on hand, so this one, it's all about getting ready for my needs this week, you know, for gun season, and then we can play around more later. But there they are, looking beautiful. So let's get out there. All right, so we've made it out to the real rifle range today to do our 300 blackout tests. I'm hunting just a couple hundred yards behind my normal range behind the house, so just kind of wanted to keep things quiet there, not spook all the deer. So here we are at the rifle range. Going to start out with low gun, and our first load's 18.2 grains. This gun is sighted in for subsonics, so I'm not really sure where it's going to hit, but we'll find out. So let's see how they shoot. I did just give this gun its pre-hunting season deep cleaning. So I shot a few test rounds through it just to make sure everything was cool. Everything's running fine. It's fouled up a little bit, so we should be ready to go. All right, so straight high a little bit. I can deal with that. After this group, we'll tweak the sights down just a little bit. Velocity on that guy was 2254. I forgot to bring a 15th camera so I could record the front of the chronograph. I am using my Caldwell chronograph today. I didn't want to use the Magneto Speed because, yeah, whatever. But all right, that's not the most awesome group for 50 yards. I hope I got the camera high enough to where you guys can even see that. It's straight high. Average velocity 2301. Standard deviation 36.5. That is gross. That is very gross. 102 feet per second. Extreme spread. All right, so you guys couldn't see that group. I've moved the camera up a touch. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, and we've moved the sights down, so let's put these 5 right in the orange. And hopefully we get a better standard deviation number this time. Halfway decent group. Velocity 2322 or 2330 or yeah, 2322. Standard deviation 20.5. Still not awesome. I like those velocity numbers though. That is smoking hot. Brass looks good. No clear signs of pressure or anything like that. So let's move on here. This is 18.8. All right, 2331, standard deviation 30.3. Yeah, I'm not all about those standard deviation numbers. Groups are fine, right? I mean, I need a 50-yard load, and by God, these will certainly get the job done. Brass still looks good, so 19.1. Okay, brass looks good, so 19.4. All right, good group. What do we get up to? 23.55. Huh. I should have written down what they predicted. It was in the upper 2300s, so we weren't that far off from what Barnes said we should be. Standard deviation numbers are a little gross, but the groups are good, especially that last one. I'd have to call that a very, very good start. So let's move on to Winchester 296. Yeah, that last little gun brass looked very, very good as well. Kind of surprised, like it all looked outstanding. I know my 8.5 inch gun generally starts to show some flattened primers with hotter loads, but all right, 19 grains of Winchester 296. Okay, brass looks good. Let's move on to 19.3. Now that is a much better standard deviation number. 6.3, average velocity 2393. I like where this is headed. Brass looks good. 19.6. I love reloading when it's easy, right? So another single digit standard deviation. Brass looks fine. We've broken well past 2,400 feet per second. So let's move on to 19.9 grains. I know what you're saying, like how would they group at 100? How would they group at 200? How would they group at 400? I don't care. I need a 50-yard load, so after hunting season, we'll answer those questions because I like the way these are shooting so far. So the primers are a little bit flat, but it's that healthy kind of flat, right? It's that nothing to worry about, but by God, you know the load's a little hot sort of flat. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? All right, 20.2. $24.51. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. It couldn't have gone any more perfect. That was good shooting. There wasn't a crappy group in the bunch. You know, the first group was probably the biggest, but that was probably just me getting my eye in and all of that. So, yeah, really, really happy. All right, let's get packed up. Let's get back to the bench. Man, I wish it was always this easy. I sincerely do. This is just great. Really, really outstanding. Better than I could have hoped for. So it's hard to pick a winner when they're all winners, right? The only thing to really go by here is the really poor standard deviation numbers on low gun. The groups were still pretty good, you know, mostly between a little over ½ inch, between a ½ inch and 8/10. That first shot, that first one, I'm going to take the blame on that one of just getting warmed up, getting ready, getting started. So it shot well, but I'm afraid with these crappy standard deviation numbers, you know, once we stretch out the range a little bit, that's going to show up as poor groups. Maybe not. Maybe. Like I said, we've got to pick on something. Winchester 296, just outstanding. The best group was 0.53 and the worst group was 0.64. So very consistent. There wasn't even really any change of point of impact here. It just all looks good. And these freaking velocities are smoking hot. 2451. We got up to 2451 with a 10.6 feet per second standard deviation. The Barnes data, they predicted 2349 for low gun, and we got to 2330, so very close. But for Winchester 296, or H110 they actually have, they predicted 2415. And we were all the way up at 2451. I mean, heck, we had beat their 2415 by the time we got to 19.6 grains. So, you know, whatever. But that is, that's crazy fast. That is just absolutely crazy fast. And no pressure signs to speak of. It looked good. You know, this looked like good hot brass, like I'd mentioned. So we're just going to go with the hottest one there. We're going to shoot 20.2 grains and call that our load. Man, that's going to smack the crap out of a deer. I really like Winchester 296 and H110. It's just been a good powder all along, you know, subs and supers, just a really good powder. What I'll do from this point is load up a bunch of those. I'll probably load up, I'll probably crack open a box of 50 and load 50. And the next video, actually I think I'm going to combine it. So this load and the subsonic load, I'll make a video of going to the range, zeroing my gun, or my guns, and you know, we might see how they shoot a little bit farther. I've got to, the first thing I need to do with this 16-inch gun is decide on an optic. I want to take that big, huge scope off of there and go with something smaller, a little better field of view. I don't know whether to go with a red dot or to go, I've got a 3-9, I think it is, Vortex. That might go well on there. So I'm still kind of trying to decide on the optic to go with, but I need to make a decision soon. We need to get, you know, optics on these guys, get them sighted in, and do some drop tables. So I think I'll make a video out of that, of zeroing my 2 hunting guns and getting final preparations for hunting season. That'll be the next video. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.